Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. If one cannot enjoy reading a book over and over again, there is no use in reading it at all. It is what you read when you don't have to that determines what you will be when you can't help it. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. The books that the world calls immoral are books that show the world its own shame. Yes, I am a dreamer. For a dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. You can never be overdressed or overeducated. Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions, their lives a mimicry, their passions a quotation. Women are meant to be loved, not to be understood. A good friend will always stab you in the front. Never love anyone who treats you like you're ordinary. I don't want to go to heaven. None of my friends are there. Anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. You will always be fond of me. I represent to you all the sins you never had the courage to commit. Every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. I am not young enough to know everything. The heart was made to be broken. You don't love someone for their looks, or their clothes, or for their fancy car, but because they sing a song only you can hear. A thing is not necessarily true because a man dies for it. Experience is merely the name men gave to their mistakes. Everything in the world is about sex except sex. Sex is about power. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. The very essence of romance is uncertainty. I think God, in creating man, someone overestimated his ability. I never traveled without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. Some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. With freedom, books, flowers, and the moon, who could not be happy? Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. I can resist anything except temptation. A cynic is a man who knows the price of everything, and the value of nothing. All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does, and that is his. Quotation is a serviceable substitute for wit. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. The only way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Crying is for plain women. Pretty women go shopping. Nowadays people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. The good ended happily, and the bad unhappily. That is what fiction means. Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. I always pass on good advice. It is the only thing to do with it. It is never of any use to oneself. Laughter is not at all a bad beginning for a friendship, and it is by far the best ending for one. One should never trust a woman who tells one her real age. A woman who would tell one that would tell one anything. The nicest feeling in the world is to do a good deed anonymously and have somebody find out. I may not agree with you, but I will defend to the death your right to make an ass of yourself. Indeed, I have always been of the opinion that hard work is simply the refuge of people who have nothing to do. Paradoxically though it may seem, it is nonetheless true that life imitates art far more than art imitates life. Men always want to be a woman's first love. That is their clumsy vanity. We women have a more subtle instinct about these things. What women like is to be a man's last romance. Nothing can cure the soul but the senses, just as nothing can cure the senses but the soul.